Welcome to this edition of AWTC Presents Her Story, a series where we profile our AWTC members. I am your host, Cecilia Supp. I'm also an AWTC member, and I'm currently volunteering on the Marketing and Communication Committee. In this edition, we are featuring our AWTC member, Layla Masri, and she is going to tell us a little bit about herself. Welcome to Her Story, Layla.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Yeah, I'd love to dive in on myself. So I've had a really interesting career. Currently, I'm at Higher Logic, and I'm leading customer and product intelligence and AI strategy adoption. I've been doing this for almost a year now, and it's been an absolute whirlwind and a true delight to help people kind of, put their toes into the water and get kind of serious about the benefits of AI. But before Higher Logic, I founded and grew Being Creative. That's how a lot of folks know me. I was a web and app development firm and sold it after 22 years back in 2019. A lot of the work that I did in that time was with associations, nonprofits, museums, education folks, organizations, basically mission-driven groups. So the association world and really kind of servicing like very bespoke industries has been part of my career from the very beginning. And I would say probably the simplest way to describe my career is that I've spent it helping people make sense of new technology and figure out where it can create value. And I was thinking about this the other day because, like, when I first started, it was the web, right? I used to go and have to tell people what is a website and why they might want it. Then it was mobile with, iPods, then iPhones, then tablets and apps, and now it's AI. So this through line has been kind of being a lay person, being able to translate technology into plain English and connecting people to practical use cases. I am that person who loves helping to see people move from like, I don't understand what I could use this for to like, I see exactly how this thing could help my organization and getting people jazzed to do it. So I ask a lot of questions. I usually go through all of the like, why do you want this? Why do you actually need it? Before I encourage anyone to jump into new technologies, because it's a tool, and you don't need the sledgehammer to, hit the fly, right? So, I try not to get too involved in like anything that's new and shiny unless it really is something that I think is going to move the needle.
That's a great overview of your background, and I'm sure people appreciate that because I'm a tech lover too. So I like to use things that are going to help, though. You said you like to ask a lot of questions, so I'm going to ask you a couple.
Yeah.
So, how did you get started working with associations?
It was actually my very first job out of college. And it was so long ago, I saw the ad. It was a classified ad in the Washington Post, like in print. So associations were my entry point into the professional world. My first job was actually at the American Society of Travel Agents, which is an industry, by the way, that has seen a serious amount of tech disruption. That was where I first learned how associations work, how they bring people together around a profession, how do you create resources, how you support members, build community. I'm pretty sure I worked on like IMIS 1.0 back then.
Oh my gosh.
My start actually was as an advertising copywriter. So I didn't have this like tech background to begin with. The one job I did a lot at ASTA was I wrote those welcome letters from the executive director that introduced you to every industry conference, right? And I'd gotten it down to like a science, like a Mad Libs. Welcome to the beautiful city of blank. We have a packed agenda to help you maximize X and Y and Z and to boost your travel agency profits, blah, 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 blah. I got really good at that. But that only sustained you for so long. So it was exciting to jump into tech and kind of see how it could really enhance what I was doing as a marketer. Um, it's also actually where I met my husband at ASTA, and
Oh,
we started being creative together. So it's associations are an integral part of my life. And when I started being creative, that was when the digital it was actually the beginning of the information superhighway again, like taking this back to the 90s. But it was really exciting to help associations figure out how to use the web, how to understand and develop and use mobile apps, interactive tools, digital experiences, like, that whole idea of like serving the member, like I learned that, on the job. I think I was also really drawn to associations because I really enjoy purposeful work. So it's not just like I want to help somebody make a buck or, I'm here to sell this widget. It was, how do you help people learn? How do you help people improve themselves in their career? How do you advocate for something? How do you help an organization deliver more effectively, more value? Like that mission-driven piece has always really mattered to me.
Mhm. Yeah, and I agree. It's one of the reasons I've stayed in
Yeah.
association management myself. It's so fun working with people who want to make something happen.
And the community is just like, it can't be beat. Everyone who works in the association world is like an A-class person.
Oh, that's nice. On behalf of the rest of us, thank you.
Yes.
So you've already touched on my next question a little bit. Can you tell us about a time that you felt really good about your work?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've worked with so many different organizations, like with being creative, 22 years worth. Um, I will say the one standout to me was a time that we worked with a client that unfortunately was dealing with some internal kind of sabotage moments. Their IT department decided to up and quit. I'm obviously not going to name names here, but their IT department decided to up and quit and start their own IT company and then consult back to this association. And there were
Oh,
some very squirrely things, as you can imagine, happen with that. And the IT is integral to pretty much every association's ability to do business, right? You're taking registrations, you're processing, payments across the board, whether it's for membership or otherwise. Your certifications can come to a standstill. It was really, really perilous. And so we brought our team in and did a very quick triage of like just take what's the state of the state and then try to unravel. Thankfully, very quickly we could unravel what was going on, put in some stop gaps. And then what I was really proud about though was not that ability to kind of quickly come in and like calm the situation. But as part of that process, like we got, of course, very trustworthy. When somebody like opens up like that, they were mortified and terrified. But what was great about that process is, we built a shared trust. And once we came out of that like initial panic period, we were then able to kind of have that bird's eye view of their entire ecosystem and help them really streamline and back away from some of the things they had been paying for and implementing that weren't really helping them. So at the end of the day, we kind of staunched some pretty serious bleeding, but they also came out of it with a stronger infrastructure and lowered their costs on top of it. So we were like, woohoo, I don't know how, like, there's no story better than that. That was really a great win. And our team was just so happy about that. But
wow.
you can't have your favorites, right? It's like your children, they're all your favorites. But that was a particularly interesting story to be a part of.
Yeah. Wow. That's very interesting, especially since we're located in the Washington, D.C. area, and that sounds very much like a congressional staff move going to
I'm like,
advise on a law that you helped write, right? So
um,
now you have really been in tech most of your career. I use it. I'm a high-end user, but you help people learn it and apply it and help them identify the right tools. But as we know, there's not a lot of women in IT. It's still, majority men, and nothing
mhm.
against men. You're okay, men. But what advice helped you as a woman working in the IT area?
Oh yeah. I mean, my company was one of the first women-owned tech businesses in the DC
Mhm.
area. And I'll give a shout out to Joanna Pineda, like who also of the Matrix Group, also one of the OG. And so first and foremost, it's like finding, the people that can support you in that way. But I think the biggest piece of advice that I've carried with me is truly like never let someone else's lack of excuse me, never let someone else's lack of imagination kill your vision. And if it's not out there, go build it yourself. Those have been things I've really taken to heart. And it's been true throughout my career. When I started being creative. The web was very new. I mentioned people didn't know what it was, and I'd have to go talk to them and tell them what a website, was and why it might be helpful. But part of that conversation, a lot of times when I went out to pitch websites, we were a small business and then we grew. I was, kind of the chief bottle washing officer and the HR person, and you do all the things, right? And I was our salesperson, and I went to pitch websites, and I was often meeting with men. And on more than one occasion, when I said I was one of the programmers, it was absolute skepticism. There was assumption that I was like this cute little salesperson, the project manager, maybe some creative person, but not the person writing the code. And that experience absolutely stayed with me. It's one of the many reasons why I really feel strongly about AWTC and the fact that we women in technology need networks like this. We need places where women are recognized. We need places where women can build each other up, where there's safe spaces where you can be like, I honestly don't understand this thing. Can someone please explain this to me? And just kind of let your hair down, and push for parity and respect in our own ways. And if I waited for everyone else to fully understand the potential of the web or to fully
Mhm.
recognize my role in building it, I probably wouldn't have built the company that I built. So I think my advice is especially relevant for women in tech. Like, you may be the first person in the room to see where something's going. You may be connecting dots that other people don't see yet. That doesn't mean your vision's wrong. It just means that you're early.
Mhm.
And so, that to me is really important. And I think the other thing too is like you don't have to fit someone else's picture of what a technologist looks like. I clearly didn't, to some people that I met with, and that's okay. Um, I thought also that I had to be the most technical person in the room to be credible, and I'm not. I work with people right now in Higher Logic where, we're building and deploying these incredibly robust AI tools. And I'm not a developer anymore. But where I provide value is that I have enough chops that I can be the person that helps bridge the gap between these deeply technical people, and the people who need to make decisions or to use the tools. So that's where, I've developed my sweet spot. So AWTC is a fabulous place to like test out your own combination of skills, learn from other people. And like there are resources and networks and groups of people that I have worked with, throughout my time with AWTC. Like those are absolutely invaluable network folks that I lean on all the time.
Well, you're sort of jumping ahead to some of my later questions. So I'm going to go
Sorry.
there. No, it's fine. It's fine. You've already talked a lot about why you value AWTC and what you get out of it, and why you like being part of it, and what you like best. So, if you were talking to somebody else and saying to them why they should join AWTC, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, I really see the value of understanding where technology is leading associations. I see working as I do right now in AI, like technology has been and is becoming more this tool to help people deliver like this very personalized, responsive, insight-driven type of experience. So as an example, like one of the more memorable times that I had at AWTC was I actually gave a presentation with Gretchen Steenstra. And we had this awesome thing about does your data spark joy? And this was when like Marie Kondo was really big. Um,
Mhm.
and so we were like taking pop culture and then applying it to like technology things. And it was talking about we were workshopping how to streamline critical information across like your AMS, your LMS, your event registration system, et cetera, so you could create like more efficient, personalized websites. And so like for me, like that's the nugget. It's not just about like learning or building these relationships, but it's like that give and take. Like I learned so much from people. I gave back to this community. And it's all organic. I mean, you're a volunteer, right? And it's like you get a lot of times you get more than you give, and so you just feel more compelled to like help other people learn and go through their career trajectory.
Yeah, that is so true. I agree. And I'm a very high level volunteer. And when I say high level, I mean I get involved in a lot of different things. So I know what you mean. So I think that that's really great insights into AWTC. And then we'll wrap up instead of wrapping up with AWTC. Where do you see technology taking associations in the future? You kind of touched on that. You
Yeah.
used that phrase, but what do you think is going to happen? Where do you think we're going to end up?
Oh gosh, if I had that crystal ball. But I mean,
Yeah.
I will say where I see this going. I mean, associations obviously have something incredibly valuable that not a lot of a lot of other industries do have. I mean, we have trusted content, expert communities, member conversations, these networks we've been talking about, this deep knowledge of these industries. And this is what we're seeing with the augment of these AI tools and different opportunities we have to leverage it is that we all know like associations are sitting on this absolute like trove of information, but the challenge is that a lot of the value can be hard to surface. You might have older systems that might be harder to use. You might have search tools that haven't kept up. People do come and go sometimes from roles in associations. So like who's really curating and making sure that content is bubbling up to the surface, discussion threads, libraries, like there's so many different places, the staff knowledge, like how do you make sure that this stuff talks well to each other? So I'm all in on AI. Like that's the role that I have at Higher Logic. So allow me to evangelize for a little bit. I feel like AI really gives associations the opportunity to unlock a lot more of that value, and it's coming at us fast and furious. We were watch this in 6 months, and there'll be additional changes we could talk about, right? But I
Right.
think the beauty is that technology is just unlocking ways for members to find the right answer faster. It's connecting all of us to relevant resources, to discussions, to our peers. It's helping staff understand patterns like way more than we could before, like not just pulling up a dashboard, but like having insights like, hey, you might not have noticed this, but the AI can dig in and really glean some very keen insights that we might as humans miss. And you're seeing that even in like the medical industry where like they're catching minute types of things that doctors or radiologists or whoever can't catch. Like that's kind of that same analogy. But I don't think that the future is replacing people. I think the future is technology making the human side a lot more accessible and scalable. I think it frees us up to use our strategic brains to do the things that we do best. So to me, the most exciting question isn't like how do we use AI because everyone's talking about it. It's what are we trying to help our members do? How can technology make that faster or more meaningful? And I think that's where associations can really shine in this type of environment. And when new technologies come along, just being open to dipping your toe in the water. That's the one thing I tell everyone who wants to get their start with AI and they just feel like it's just overwhelming. It's like pick the one thing that could you spend a lot of time on. Gosh, I really wish I didn't have to help every member find their password again or tell them when the annual event is. Like pick that thing that's that recurring thing you could, outsource to or outsource to a bot that then frees you up to, again, have those kind of like one-on-one discussions with members and actually help them solve maybe a little bit more meaty of a problem.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well said. And there's so many tools out there. You have to find the one that works for you.
Absolutely.
So
Not one
I,
size fits all. I can't tell you how many times when I ran my business, I would talk people out of doing things, much to my dismay sometimes. Like, why did you do that?
yeah.
But I mean, it's only fair, right? Like, if someone's like,
Yeah.
the board says we need to have an app, and so we're coming to you to make an app, and I will say, I want this app to be successful for you. What do you want the app to do? Like, how would it move the needle for you? And if they don't have an answer, I'm gonna challenge them to go back and think about it. And, do you really want to spend that money on that? Or, could we talk about something else that might be more useful? So,
Yeah.
yeah, technology can be very interesting that way. But, again, like that's like the benefit of these types of conversations is like surfacing how we're all doing this.
Yes. Yes. And this has been a very fun conversation. So thank you for being so positive and high energy. I really appreciate it. And thanks for
Yeah,
joining me here on Her Story.
absolutely. And I will say, anyone who's not already involved in AWTC, like figure out, fast, like involve, get yourself involved, like go to the programs. The happy hours are banger. Ask the questions, volunteer, like mentor, like, the sharing is caring is really, it's such a fabulous community to be a part of and a really special, place inside of the association world.
It is. And if you want to learn more about AWTC, please go to our website, awtc.tech. You can find out about all of our events. They are really fun. Most of them are no fee and they're open to everyone. So check out our calendar and see if there's something that's right for you. You can also fill out our membership application form. There's no fee for membership, so it's the most valuable no fee membership on the planet. So check that out as well. And check out some of our other Her Story episodes. And it's very easy to get involved at AWTC. So once again, awtc.tech. Thanks for joining us for this edition of AWTC Presents Her Story, and we will see you in the future.